Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to do a recap of the movie called Deep Water. The movie opens with Vic cycling through the town into the woods and returns home. He reaches home and sees his wife Melinda sitting on the stairs staring at him. Vic takes off his sweatpants and goes to his room. Inside the house, their daughter, Trixie, eats her breakfast listening to an old MacDonald song. Melinda tells Trixie to turn off the song because it's irritating her, while she's getting ready for a party at their friend's place. Trixie's babysitter arrives and apologizes to Vic for coming late. Melinda calls Vic upstairs and asks him for his help in choosing a dress for the party. Vic tells her to wear the black dress with the black shoes he got her from New York. They arrive at the party, where Melinda invites one of her lovers, musician Joel Dash. Melinda takes him outside to the backyard. Vic roams around the party and stands in front of a window. He looks outside of the window and sees Melinda kissing Joel. Melinda notices Vic watching them and gets a bit uncomfortable. Vic also gets a bit upset. One of Vic and Melinda's friends, Mary, approaches Vic. She greets him, and they both see Melinda dancing with Joel outside in front of the pool. Melinda enters the house and tells Vic to dance a little. Later, Mary sits with Vic and tells him that she's a bit worried about him and his relationship with Melinda. She tells him that Joel is only here at the party because Melinda specifically asked their friends to invite him. Mary asks Vic if they both are having intercourse or not. Vic sarcastically replies, "Shall we ask them?" They both laugh, and Vic tells Mary that no, they're not doing it, and they're both friends. Meanwhile, Melinda gets drunk, and their friend Grant informs him that Melinda is drunk and dancing on his piano, and he needs to get her. Vic sees Melinda having a blast while standing on the piano. Melinda tells everyone that she's going to get down from the piano because she doesn't know how to give toasts, but she knows how to play piano, and she's going to play a song on it for them. After Melinda's song, Joel approaches Vic while they both get a drink. Joel tells him that he has two things to say to him. Firstly, he thanks him for his hospitality, and tells him that he would like to repay it. He tells him that he's a stranger to their area, and Vic and Melinda, both of them have been very cool to him. Vic reminds him that he wanted to say two things. Joel remembers and tells him that he's a very nice person for letting him see his wife. He tells him that it's fine, but sometimes, some husbands, they get jealous. Vic asks Joel if he was around here long enough to hear the name Martin McRae. Joel tells him that, yeah, he's aware of him, and Martin was the guy who went missing. Vic washes his hands and tells him that Martin was seeing a lot of his wife too. Joel gets a bit puzzled and asks him what he's suggesting. Vic tells him that Martin and his wife were friends too. Joel asks him if he wants him to believe that he had something to do with Martin McRae's disappearance. Vic straight up tells him that he killed Martin. Joel starts to get worried and asks Vic if Melinda knows about this. Vic tells him that of course he hasn't told Melinda because she would be horrified if she found out. Joel gets serious and tells him that since Martin was his friend, it's not funny to joke about him like that. Vic corrects him that Martin was not his friend. Joel tells him that Martin was a friend of his wife. Vic chuckles and tells Joel that it's obviously something else when he says that they were friends. Joel gets a bit scared and asks Vic if he's threatening him. Vic asks him overconfidently if he feels threatened. Joel tells him that he doesn't believe him. Vic says, then don't. Joel leaves the party in fear of his life, worrying about Vic's indirect threats. Melinda sees Joel leaving and goes after him. She asks Joel what happened. He tells her that he's going home. He sees Vic across the room and tells Melinda that he'll call her tomorrow and leaves the party. After the party, Vic takes his drunk wife Melinda to the car to head home. Melinda asks Vic if he said something to Joel. He tells her that he didn't say anything to him. She asks him again what he said to Joel because she saw them talking. He dodges her question and tells her he was talking to Mary. Melinda tells him that she saw him talking to Joel, and he was acting differently after talking to him. He tells her that he promises that he didn't say anything. She laughs and tells him that she doesn't believe him. They both laugh and he tells her to get in the car. They both arrive at home and Vic pays the babysitter while Melinda roams topless in the house. Vic tells her to cover herself up because the babysitter is still around. She says it's not that much of a big deal and complains that America is quite suffocating. Vic apologizes to the babysitter and tells her that his wife is from another culture. Vic pays off the babysitter and she leaves. Later, in Melinda's bedroom, Vic helps her get to sleep. He undresses her and applies lotion on her legs and thighs. He tells Melinda she could have picked someone with more brains, implying that Joel was not so smart. Melinda asks him if that's what interests him in a woman, her intelligence. He agrees and tells her that intelligence is one of the things he finds attractive in a woman. She further asks him if that's why he picked her, because of her brains. Vic tells her that she is very smart, but she tells him that it's not in a way he respects. She turns over on her belly and tells Vic that Joel might be dumb, but he makes her enjoy who she truly is, and it turns her on. She tells Vic to leave and close the door on his way out. A few days later, the story floats around their social group that Vic threatened to kill Joel for dating his wife. Vic hangs out with his friends Grant and Jonas for lunch. They all talk about Vic threatening Joel and his relationship with Melinda. Grant tells Vic that he loves him and respects him, but the fact that Melinda is comfortable with flaunting all these relationships around in front of them only proves how messed up she really is, and that she's a really awful person. Later at home, Melinda finds out that Vic threatened Joel, saying he killed Martin, and she doesn't like any part of it. She tells Vic that she knew he had said something disgusting to Joel because he's a damn snake. Vic apologizes and tells her that it was very stupid of him. She tells him that he should not have said something stupid about Martin, because Martin was her friend and she misses him. Vic apologizes again and tells her that he knew how dumb he sounded the moment he threatened Joel. Melinda tells him that he's not going to apologize only to her, but to Joel too. She tells Vic that she spoke to Joel and he's leaving on Saturday, so she invited him to dinner on Friday at their house. Joel arrives at their house on Friday. Vic opens the door for him, greets Joel, and tells him that Melinda wanted to cook, but Trixie banned her from the stove for 2 weeks, and it's a long story. Joel looks puzzled and asks Vic if Melinda is home. Vic tells him that Melinda is not home, and it's going to be just the two of them. Vic asks him if that's going to be awkward, like he didn't just casually threaten him indirectly a week ago. Joel gets worried, and Vic tells him that he's just messing around and teasing him, and invites him inside. Vic tells Joel to make himself at home and get a drink. Vic goes to the kitchen where little Trixie is washing some of the dishes, and pours a soda for Joel. Trixie asks Vic who Joel is. Vic tells her that he's Joel, and he's a friend of her mom, like Martin McRae. Vic tells Trixie to dry her hands and take the soda to Joel. Vic joins Joel and asks him if he's leaving tomorrow. Joel confirms it and tells him that he got a job in New Mexico, which is a good job, pays well, and it's an exciting experience. Vic tells Joel that it looks like he's then spending his last supper with them. Vic tells him that he's making an old family recipe, lobster bisque with a hint of tang, and not too creamy, which he'll love. Joel sadly tells him that he's actually allergic to shellfish, and he can't eat any of it. Vic is shocked that his efforts will be wasted, so he makes grilled cheese sandwiches for Joel instead. At the dinner, they all talk about Joel's new job and his departure. Melinda tells Joel that she always wanted to visit New Mexico. Joel tells her that it's a beautiful place, but he'll be working in Albuquerque, which is a little different from Santa Fe, because Santa Fe is a bit more charming, and he also wants to visit Santa Fe because it's a beautiful place. Melinda suggests that they might come visit him when he's settled there. Joel is still quite nervous and scared of Vic, so he tries to make excuses to indirectly not invite them when he moves to New Mexico. Joel tells them that he doesn't know how big his place is going to be when he moves. To make the conversation much more friendly, Vic reassures Joel that if they came to visit him in New Mexico, then they would probably stay in a hotel room. Vic steers the conversation to a different and lighter side and asks Joel about the grilled sandwich he's eating. Joel tells him that it's actually very amazing. Melinda joins in and asks Joel if she could have some of the grilled cheese sandwich too, because she doesn't like lobster bisque at all. Vic looks at her with disappointment when she mocks his cooking efforts. She tastes the sandwich and is amazed at how delicious it is, and tells Vic that it's amazing. Vic tells Joel that Melinda kind of has the palate of a 12-year-old. He tells Joel that when he took her out on their first date at the best restaurant in the city, she ordered mac and cheese. Melinda tells them she remembers, and for her, it felt like Vic was ashamed to be with her. Vic tells her that he wasn't ashamed, but he realized that she was ordering from the kids' menu to save room for alcohol. Melinda points out to Joel that Vic never drinks, and sometimes she thinks he's not normal, because normal people can let go sometimes. They both get in a normal, less aggressive argument, where Vic asks her if she wants him to be normal. Melinda tells him that she wishes that all the time. Vic tells her that because if he was normal, he doesn't think Joel would be here at their place having dinner with them. Melinda looks at Joel and sees he's getting uncomfortable, so she asks Vic not to be rude. Vic tells her that he's not being rude, he made lobster bisque. Joel tells them that he's going to the washroom, while Melinda gets rid of Vic by assigning him to read bedtime stories to Trixie, because it's time for her to sleep. Later at night, Joel confronts Vic and asks him if he's going to apologize to him or not. Vic asks him for what. Joel replies, for threatening him and lying about killing Martin. Vic still does not come forward to tell him the truth, and tells him that he killed Martin with a hammer. Vic ends the night by ordering an Uber for Joel and tells him to leave. Although it seems like Vic honestly killed Martin, it's later revealed on the TV news that Martin was found shot to death by someone else. Melinda's next lover, piano teacher Charlie Delisle, is invited to a pool party at the home of Vic's friend, Jonas Fernandez. Vic quietly grows jealous when seeing Melinda and Charlie hanging out in the swimming pool. Everyone rushes inside when it starts raining, but then find to their horror Charlie dead in the pool, apparently from drowning. Upon questioning by police, Melinda is quick to accuse Vic of murdering Charlie, raising growing suspicions by their new friend, a writer named Don Wilson. Later, Vic goes cycling again. He gets tense and agitated while cycling because of the thought of Melinda making love with Charlie. It's then revealed that it was in fact Vic who killed Charlie. When everyone went inside, he forcefully drowned Charlie. With help from Melinda, Don secretly hires a private investigator, who later poses as a psychotherapist. Vic, however, is quick to uncover this plot and crashes a Wilson family lunch uninvited, openly accusing Don in front of his wife and young daughter. Sometime later, Melinda reunites with an old college boyfriend, Tony Cameron, which once again incites jealousy within Vic. Tony meets Vic in his room, where he keeps all of his snails. Tony asks him about Melinda, and Vic tells him she's upstairs. Melinda meets Tony upstairs and tells him that she still can't believe he's here. Tony tells Vic about his business, while Vic and Melinda cook. Melinda tells Tony that his business is very inspiring, and she admires him. Tony appreciates it and tells her that he's just happy that it gives him the chance to reconnect with his old friends. Melinda then tells a fact to Vic that Tony was the first American she made love with. Tony laughs and gets awkward because of Vic's presence. Melinda tells him not to worry about Vic because he couldn't care less about it. They all have lunch together, and after lunch, Melinda and Tony dance a bit and head upstairs. Afterwards, Vic follows Tony and tells him that Melinda was trying to contact you because she wanted to show him a building site she kept talking about. Tony tells him that it's weird because she didn't mention anything to him. Vic tells him to jump in and he'll take him there. He gets into the car and Vic drives him into the woods alone, before sending him off a rocky hill by hitting him with big stones and killing him. Vic then sinks the body into a nearby creek. Sometime later, Vic returns to the creek to retrieve Melinda's scarf from a picnic trip they had the previous day. But as he attempts to sink Tony's body further into the water, he's suddenly surprised by Don, who catches him in the act and then recklessly drives his car to flee for help, with Vic in pursuit. But in the ensuing chaos, Don accidentally swerves his car off a cliff and is killed instantly upon impact. At the same time, Melinda finds Tony's wallet with his identification in one of Vic's snail tanks, confirming Vic's knowledge of Tony's whereabouts. Melinda begins packing, intending to leave with their daughter, only to be defiantly confronted by Trixie to stay. After contemplating, Melinda burns Tony's identity documents, suggesting she intends to stay with Vic as he returns home. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the thumbnails on your screen, and don't forget to share your thoughts about today's video in the comments section. Kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. And at last I will say, stay safe, stay well, see you next time, and thanks for watching.